Good morning. That first bite of breakfast? It might be quietly sabotaging your strength where it matters most. Every day, millions of men over 60 pour themselves a bowl of cereal or pop a couple slices of toast in the toaster, thinking they're doing something right. But what if that familiar routine is doing the exact opposite? What if it's weakening your blood flow, draining your energy, and slowly chipping away at your confidence, without you even realizing? The truth is, it's not always age that causes men to feel slower, weaker, or less alive in the bedroom or on their feet. It's often something far more subtle, the very foods you eat before your day even begins. See, your circulation is like your body's power grid. And when it starts to falter, everything from your energy to your mobility to your intimate performance can begin to fade. But here's the good news, you're not powerless. In fact, you might already have the solution sitting in your kitchen right now. I'm going to walk you through 5 simple, natural breakfast foods that support blood flow, protect the muscles that matter most, and restore that quiet confidence you may have thought was gone for good. Some of these changes can take effect in just days. So before you reach for that same old toast and coffee combo, stick with me. What you're about to discover could completely reshape how you feel and perform for the rest of your day. Let's start with one of the most powerful circulation-boosting foods on the planet. Most people see it as just a salad ingredient, but for men over 60, it could be a morning game changer. Let's be honest, most men over 60 aren't skipping breakfast, but they are making a critical mistake with what they're eating. That slice of toast, the bowl of cereal, maybe a glass of orange juice, it all seems harmless, even healthy. After all, isn't fiber and whole grains supposed to be good for you? But here's the catch, these common breakfast staples are often high in refined carbs and sugars, low in nutrients that support blood flow, and almost completely lacking the compounds your body needs to maintain strong circulation, especially in your lower body and pelvic region. The result? A blood sugar spike, followed by a mid-morning crash, and worse, blood vessels that struggle to stay open and flexible. You might notice it as a lack of energy, or a dull, heavy feeling in your legs. Or maybe something more personal, a slow decline in drive, sensitivity, or that quiet confidence you used to have without thinking. But here's the twist, it's not just how these foods make you feel in the moment. Over time, they actually contribute to chronic inflammation and a breakdown of nitric oxide production. That's the molecule your body relies on to keep blood flowing smoothly and efficiently, especially where it counts most. So, while you think you're doing something good by sticking to safe breakfast foods, your body might be paying the price. And that price often shows up in the places you least expect, in your mobility, your mood, and your manhood. But the solution isn't skipping breakfast. It's about replacing those old habits with foods that actively support your circulation and energy levels, starting the moment you wake up. And the first one? It's green, it's cheap, and it might already be sitting in your fridge. So if it's not just age, what's really going on? Most men assume that feeling tired, stiff, or unmotivated is just part of getting older. Slower mornings, colder hands and feet, that creeping sense of weakness down there, it's easy to blame the calendar. But here's what most doctors won't tell you, your age isn't the main problem. The real culprit? It's how your blood vessels are functioning, or more often, how they're failing. As men get older, the inner lining of their blood vessels, called the endothelium, starts to break down. It becomes less responsive, less elastic, and far less able to carry blood where it's needed, especially to your lower body and pelvic region. This breakdown doesn't happen overnight. It's quiet, gradual, but it chips away at your energy, your stamina, and your ability to perform, whether that's walking upstairs or feeling confident in the bedroom. And while aging plays a role, the biggest driver of this decline is something you can actually control, your morning fuel. If your first meal lacks key nutrients like natural nitrates, antioxidants, and vessel-calming probiotics, your blood flow suffers before you've even started your day. And that sluggish start? It carries into your afternoon, your evening, and even your sleep. But here's the good news. When you support your endothelial function early, at breakfast, you set the tone for healthy blood flow all day long. And you don't need medications, expensive treatments, or some complicated routine. Just a few smart food swaps that feed your blood vessels instead of clogging them. Let's start with the simplest one of all, a leafy green that's been quietly outperforming prescription meds in study after study. Let's talk about something most men never hear enough about, circulation and strength, especially where it matters most. You see, your body runs on blood flow. Every movement, every spark of energy, every signal from your brain to your muscles, it all depends on a smooth, steady stream of oxygen-rich blood. But what many don't realize is just how closely your circulation is tied to your masculinity, your drive, your stamina, and yes, even your performance in the bedroom. When blood flow starts to slow or narrow, the first signs are often brushed off: low energy, stiff joints, slower recovery. But over time, the real warning signs start to show up below the belt. Here's why. Your pelvic region contains some of the smallest, most sensitive blood vessels in your entire body. And they're the first to suffer when your nitric oxide levels, the chemical messenger that opens blood vessels, begin to drop. That drop doesn't just affect intimacy. It affects confidence. It affects how motivated you feel to move, to connect, to enjoy your life fully. The worst part? Most men are never told that this can be reversed, not with pills, but with the right foods. Foods that feed the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. Foods that replenish your nitric oxide naturally. Foods that strengthen your circulation instead of draining it. Because here's the real truth, you don't lose masculine strength because you're older. You lose it because your blood isn't getting where it needs to go. Fix the flow, and everything changes. Your energy comes back. Your legs feel stronger. Your confidence returns. And in many cases, so does your performance, without ever stepping into a pharmacy. So let's stop blaming age and start looking at the real solution, the morning foods that help your blood vessels open up and support your masculine strength from the inside out. The first one? It's a simple green that's probably sitting in your grocery store right now, and it's about to become your best ally. It doesn't look like much, just a pile of green leaves sitting in the produce aisle. But spinach? It might be one of the most powerful tools a man over 60 can add to his breakfast. Why? Because spinach is packed with natural dietary nitrates, the raw material your body needs to produce nitric oxide, the very compound responsible for opening up your blood vessels and restoring healthy circulation. Think of nitric oxide like your body's internal traffic cop, signaling blood vessels to relax, expand, and deliver blood where it's needed most. But here's the problem: as you age, your ability to produce nitric oxide naturally plummets. That means slower blood flow, especially to your legs, your brain, and your pelvic region. Now here's where spinach steps in. Just one serving delivers up to 845 milligrams of nitrates, more than most other vegetables combined. That's enough to trigger what scientists call the nitric oxide pathway, a backup route your body uses to produce nitric oxide even when its main system is slowing down. That means even if your natural nitric oxide levels have declined with age, spinach helps flip the switch back on. You might think of spinach as Popeye food, good for biceps and muscles. But the real muscle it helps is your vascular system, keeping arteries open and blood moving freely through your lower body. In fact, research from the Journal of the American Heart Association shows that spinach improves flow-mediated dilation, a critical measure of how well your arteries can expand. And in clinical studies, spinach has been shown to lower blood pressure within hours, a direct sign that it's enhancing circulation across the board. But here's the real magic. Spinach works best in the morning. When you eat it early in the day, your nitric oxide levels tend to peak 2 to 3 hours later, just when you're starting to move around, stay active, and need better circulation to feel sharp, steady, and energized. It's no wonder more and more doctors are now recommending a spinach-based breakfast, especially for men over 60. Because when you support blood flow from the very start of your day, you're giving your body exactly what it needs to stay strong, responsive, and confident without relying on a single pill. And if you think that sounds too simple to work, wait until you hear what happened to one of my patients after making this one small change. Robert was 62 when he came to see me. Soft-spoken, polite, but you could tell something was weighing on him. He wasn't sleeping well, felt drained by mid-morning, and there was this quiet frustration he couldn't quite put into words. Eventually, he opened up. His legs felt heavy all the time. There was a strange soreness in his lower body, a tightness around his groin that came and went. And the real issue? He just didn't feel like himself anymore, not as strong, not as sharp, and definitely not as confident where it mattered. "I guess it's just age," he said, shrugging. "Slowing down happens to everyone, right?" But I could tell something else was going on. We looked at his routine. Every morning, toast, coffee, a quick bowl of cereal. Easy, familiar, but completely missing the nutrients his circulation needed to stay healthy. Robert didn't have a motivation problem. He had a blood flow problem. His symptoms, fatigue, lower body discomfort, a sense of power slipping away, all pointed to one thing: poor nitric oxide production and weakened pelvic circulation. So I gave him a simple assignment. For the next 2 weeks, swap the toast and cereal for a spinach smoothie. Nothing fancy. Just a couple cups of fresh spinach, half a banana, and a scoop of protein blended with water or almond milk. That's it. When he came back 3 weeks later, he wasn't the same man. "I feel lighter," he said, smiling. "I've got more energy in my legs. I'm walking more." My wife even asked if I've been working out. What Robert felt wasn't magic, it was the return of circulation. The spinach gave his body the nitrates it had been starving for, and once his nitric oxide levels rose, blood started flowing the way it was supposed to. And with that came energy, strength, confidence. Robert's story is one I never forget, not because the change was dramatic, but because it was so simple. No drugs, no expensive treatments, just the right fuel at the right time. That's the power of spinach. And it's just the beginning. Because while spinach handles blood vessel dilation, it doesn't work alone. Your gut plays a key role in how well your body processes these nutrients, and most men are missing a critical link. Let's talk about what that is, and how a creamy, delicious breakfast food might just be the missing piece of your circulation puzzle. So why does spinach work so well? It's not just about vitamins or fiber, it's about chemistry. Spinach is rich in natural dietary nitrates, and these aren't the bad kind you hear about in processed meats. These are plant-based nitrates, the kind your body loves. When you eat spinach, those nitrates are converted into nitrites by the healthy bacteria in your mouth. Then, once they reach your stomach, your body transforms them into nitric oxide, the key molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax, widen, and let blood flow freely. This isn't some fringe theory. It's a well-documented biological process known as the nitrate-nitric oxide pathway. And the older you get, the more important it becomes. See, after age 60, your body naturally produces less nitric oxide through its primary system. That means blood vessels become less responsive, especially the tiny ones in your lower body. It's one of the silent reasons so many men feel slower, colder, and more disconnected as they age. But spinach bypasses that decline. It uses this secondary nitrate pathway to flood your system with nitric oxide, even if your main production is falling short. Clinical research backs this up. In a study published by the Journal of the American Heart Association, participants who consumed spinach saw measurable improvements in flow-mediated dilation, a marker of how flexible and responsive your arteries are. More dilation means more blood flow. And more blood flow means better oxygen delivery, better mobility, and yes, stronger performance and sensation in the areas that matter most. But that's not all. Other studies show spinach can lower blood pressure within just a few hours of eating it. That's how quickly it goes to work. And when you make it part of your morning routine, the benefits last all day because your nitric oxide levels rise when you need them most, mid-morning, when your energy should be climbing, not crashing. So while spinach might seem simple, it's actually one of the smartest, most science-backed tools for boosting circulation naturally, no side effects, no prescriptions, no guesswork. And when it becomes part of your daily breakfast, it doesn't just support blood flow. It helps restore a part of your body that often fades quietly, without warning, your vascular strength. But spinach is just one piece of the puzzle. Because even with all that nitrate power, your body still needs help absorbing and using it properly. That's where your gut health steps in, and for that, there's a delicious and creamy breakfast that pairs perfectly with spinach and takes your circulation to the next level. Most people think what you eat is the only thing that matters. But when you eat, especially when it comes to circulation, can make all the difference. See, spinach doesn't just work in the background. It follows a predictable timeline inside your body. After you eat it, your nitrate levels begin rising. Then, about 2 to 3 hours later, your body hits its peak nitric oxide production. That means if you eat spinach at 7 or 8 in the morning, your blood flow ramps up right around mid-morning, the exact time you need steady circulation to stay sharp, mobile, and energized. This window matters more than you might think. For older men, late morning is when fatigue often starts to creep in. The legs feel heavier. The mind slows down. Even your mood can dip, and most guys just power through, assuming it's age. But when your blood flow is supported early in the day, that slump can disappear. You feel stronger on your feet, lighter in your step, more awake, more balanced, and more in control of your body without reaching for another cup of coffee. It's also when many men notice a subtle but powerful change in their lower body confidence. That sluggish feeling down there begins to fade. Sensation returns. That quiet strength you thought was lost, it starts to come back online. And all of that begins with one simple morning habit: adding spinach to your breakfast. You can blend it into a smoothie, mix it into scrambled eggs, or toss it into an omelet. However you enjoy it, just make sure it's part of your first meal, not an afterthought. Because with spinach, the timing is fuel. Feed your blood vessels early, and they'll support you all day, in every way that counts. But don't just take my word for it. The next story comes from a man who put this timing to the test, and felt the results not just in his body, but in how he moved through his entire day. Harold was 67, a retired mechanic, and one of the most straightforward guys I've ever worked with. He didn't like gimmicks, didn't trust supplements, and definitely didn't want to talk about bedroom issues. But what brought him to me wasn't anything dramatic. It was something much quieter. "I just feel heavy," he said. Not tired, exactly. Just slow, especially in the mornings. He wasn't in pain. He wasn't sick. But every day, from the moment he got out of bed, he felt like he was walking through mud. His legs dragged. His energy dipped. And there was a low-level numbness creeping into places he didn't want to talk about. So we looked at his habits. His breakfast was toast, maybe a banana, and black coffee. Quick, easy, and completely missing the nutrients his circulatory system needed. I told him about spinach, and not just what it does, but when it works best. He raised an eyebrow. "You're telling me a leaf is gonna fix all this?" I smiled. "Just give it a shot." So he did. Every morning for 3 weeks, Harold blended 2 cups of fresh spinach into a smoothie. He didn't change anything else, just added that one habit. By week 2, something changed. "I'm not dragging anymore," he told me. "I wake up, get moving, and I don't feel that weight in my legs." But the bigger shift? It came in how he talked about himself. "I've got energy. I'm doing stuff around the house. My wife keeps asking if I'm trying to impress someone, he laughed. Harold didn't just feel lighter. He felt capable again. More mobile. More present. And yes, more confident in ways he didn't fully describe, but didn't need to. What worked for Harold wasn't just spinach. It was timing, consistency, and trusting his body to respond when he gave it the right support. He didn't need medication. He didn't need a new gym routine. He just needed better blood flow and a morning routine that finally worked for him, not against him. But spinach is only one half of the circulation equation, because even the most powerful nitrate-rich foods can fall flat if your gut isn't ready to absorb and activate them. And that's where the next breakfast fix comes in, creamy, delicious, and packed with gut-healing power that helps your blood vessels thrive. Here's a surprising truth most men never hear. You can eat all the spinach, beets, and heart-healthy foods you want. But if your gut isn't working right, those nutrients never reach your bloodstream. See, nitrates, the compounds in spinach that help boost blood flow, don't work on their own. They need help from a very specific group of bacteria in your body to activate. Where do those bacteria live? Right in your mouth and gut. If those microbes are missing, wiped out, or weakened due to age, poor diet, or even years of taking certain medications, your body struggles to convert nitrates into nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and drives circulation. And here's where things get worse. Many common habits in older adults silently destroy these bacteria. Using antibacterial mouthwash every morning? That wipes out the exact microbes that convert nitrate into nitric oxide. Taking acid-blocking meds for heartburn? That lowers stomach acid, disrupting the digestive environment your microbes rely on. Eating a low-fiber breakfast or skipping fermented foods? That starves your gut bacteria of the fuel they need to survive. It's like trying to start a fire without any oxygen. Even if you're eating spinach every day, if your internal engine isn't tuned properly, the fuel can't ignite. But when your gut is in balance, your body doesn't just absorb those nutrients, it amplifies them. That's why some men notice massive benefits from nitrate-rich foods almost overnight, while others see little to no change. It's not their age. It's not genetics. It's often their gut. And the fix doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, one creamy, delicious food added to your morning routine can kickstart your gut health, restore those missing microbes, and supercharge everything else you eat, especially foods that support circulation down there. We'll reveal that food in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at what happens when your gut bacteria are working like they're supposed to, and how it can change more than just your digestion. So what's the one breakfast addition that can turn your gut from sluggish to strong? Greek yogurt with berries. Simple, right? But don't let that fool you. This combo is a quiet powerhouse for men over 60, especially when it comes to supporting better blood flow and restoring vitality where it counts. Let's break it down. Greek yogurt is packed with probiotics, the good bacteria your gut craves. These live cultures help repopulate your microbiome, improve digestion, and more importantly, restore the exact microbes that help convert dietary nitrates into nitric oxide. But here's the catch, not all yogurt works. The sweet, fruity stuff from the grocery store? Usually full of added sugar and barely any live cultures. You want plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt with active cultures listed on the label. The thicker, the better. It's richer in protein and beneficial strains like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. Now pair that with a handful of berries, like blueberries, strawberries, or blackberries, and you've got something even better. Berries are rich in polyphenol, which are natural plant compounds that act like rocket fuel for your gut bacteria. They feed the good microbes, helping them grow stronger and more active, especially the ones involved in circulation and inflammation control. Plus, berries support blood vessel health on their own. They've been shown in studies to improve endothelial function, that's the lining of your blood vessels, helping them stay flexible, relaxed, and responsive. In other words, this combo does 3 critical things. 1. Rebuilds your gut microbiome, improving nutrient absorption and nitric oxide production. 2. Feeds your circulation supporting bacteria, helping maximize the effect of foods like spinach. 3. Directly supports your blood vessels, promoting flow and flexibility even with age. And the best part? It takes less than a minute to prepare. No fancy cooking, no weird supplements, just real, whole food your body recognizes and responds to. Harold, the retired mechanic we talked about earlier, added Greek yogurt and blueberries right after his spinach smoothie. Within days, he said his digestion finally felt normal again, and a week later, his energy shot up another level. But there's one more reason this duo works so well. It helps balance blood sugar, which, as it turns out, plays a bigger role in blood flow and male health than most men realize. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. Martin didn't think anything was seriously wrong at first. At 67, he figured the afternoon crash was just part of life now. He'd wake up feeling okay, maybe even energized after his morning walk. But by 2 or 3 p.m., he was dragging. Eyelids heavy. Focus gone. Sometimes, he'd even doze off in the recliner without meaning to. It didn't stop there. Martin started noticing another pattern. His energy down there was lowest right when his body felt the most drained. His doctor checked his heart, his blood pressure, even ran a few basic labs. Everything came back normal. But Martin knew something wasn't right. What he didn't know, and what most men over 60 don't realize, is that this kind of afternoon energy crash is often tied to unstable blood sugar. Even without full-blown diabetes, many older men experience silent blood sugar swings that sap their energy, stiffen their blood vessels, and inflame the very system responsible for male vitality. Martin's breakfast? Toast, jam, and black coffee. Not terrible, but not supportive either. Here's what happened when he made one small change. He replaced the toast and jam with a spinach protein smoothie and a bowl of Greek yogurt with berries. Just like Harold, the effect was almost immediate. Within 3 days, Martin's recliner naps disappeared. By the end of the week, he said he hadn't felt this steady in the afternoons since his 40s. And the best part? His private life started picking back up too. Why? Because blood sugar, inflammation, and circulation are all tightly connected. When you calm one, the others often follow. And Martin's new breakfast did just that, without pills, powders, or prescriptions. But there's one more tweak he made that pushed his results even further. A tiny addition that supports blood flow in an unexpected and delicious way. It's red, sweet, and often misunderstood. And in the next section, you'll see why it deserves a spot in your morning rotation. If this all sounds too simple to be true, spinach, yogurt, berries, and beets turning back the clock on circulation, the science says otherwise. Let's talk real numbers. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, men who consumed nitrate-rich vegetables daily, like spinach and beets, saw a significant increase in nitric oxide levels after just 7 days. That's the molecule directly responsible for relaxing blood vessels and improving blood flow where it counts. But here's what's even more eye-opening. Another clinical trial from Queen Mary University of London followed older adults with normal blood pressure. After just 4 weeks of drinking beetroot juice daily, participants experienced an average 20% improvement in blood vessel flexibility. That's not just good for the heart, that's the kind of flow that affects everything from mental clarity to physical intimacy. Still not convinced? Let's go deeper. A study in Frontiers in Nutrition looked at the impact of fermented dairy products, specifically Greek yogurt, on gut health and metabolic function in older adults. The results? Improved glucose regulation, reduced inflammation, and enhanced nutrient absorption, all key players in energy, libido, and overall male vitality. Even blueberries, often underestimated, have their proof. A Harvard study showed that just 1 cup of berries a day helped maintain blood vessel elasticity in aging men, thanks to their high concentration of anthocyanins, natural compounds that protect the lining of arteries. And remember that afternoon crash Martin was dealing with? It's not rare. The Journal of Endocrinology found that men over 60 who skipped protein at breakfast and relied on carb-heavy meals were over 35% more likely to experience energy dips and sluggish circulation later in the day. These aren't miracle cures. These are small, proven actions that compound over time, and for many men, they trigger changes they can actually feel. So the question isn't whether this approach works. The real question is, why don't more men know about it? That answer takes us into something bigger, a pattern that's gone unspoken for decades. And in the next section, we expose exactly why senior men are almost never told about these fixes, even though the data is sitting right there in black and white. Let's recap what we've uncovered, because by now, the pieces should be clicking into place. Most men over 60 wake up and reach for something familiar: toast, cereal, maybe a sweet pastry and black coffee. It feels harmless. But as we've seen, that combo quietly sets the stage for poor blood flow, mid-morning crashes, and a sluggish start down there. But swap in a few key ingredients, and everything starts to change. It starts with spinach, your natural nitrate booster. It kickstarts nitric oxide production, opening up blood vessels and fueling your body from head to toe. Then there's Greek yogurt, packed with protein and probiotics. It supports gut health, helps regulate glucose, and keeps your digestive system running like it should, which plays a bigger role in circulation than most realize. Add in a handful of berries, preferably blueberries or blackberries. These little powerhouses are loaded with antioxidants that protect your arteries and keep the blood flowing freely. And if you really want to go the extra mile, toss in a shot of beet juice or a few slices of roasted beets. That's like strapping a turbocharger to your circulation engine, especially if you've been feeling slow, foggy, or disconnected lately. This isn't a gimmick. It's a simple, science-backed combo that takes 5 minutes to prepare, and it can change how you feel for the entire day. More clarity, more confidence, more energy. And yes, more strength where it matters most. This is your new breakfast blueprint. A pattern that nourishes not just your body, but your masculinity, your energy, and your sense of control. But here's the catch. Most men will hear this and do nothing. They'll go back to toast, to jam, to coffee, and wonder why nothing's changing. But the men who act, the ones who swap the sugar for spinach, the cream for cultured yogurt, and start the day with intention, they're the ones who feel the shift fast. And in just a moment, we're going to show you exactly how to build this breakfast with zero guesswork. A plug-and-play plan that makes it effortless, no matter your schedule or cooking skill. Because it's one thing to know what to eat. It's another to actually stick with it. Now that you've got the blueprint for a circulation-boosting breakfast, here's something to think about. Spinach, berries, yogurt, they're just the beginning. There's another superfood out there that's quietly making waves among researchers and older men alike. It's not flashy. It's not trendy. In fact, most people walk past it at the store without giving it a second glance. But when it comes to boosting nitric oxide, lowering inflammation, and even supporting testosterone levels, this one food could rival everything we've just talked about. Even better, you don't have to eat it raw. In fact, the way you cook it may actually unlock its full potential, a trick hardly anyone knows. So what is it? Let's just say it's a root. It's been used in ancient medicine for centuries. And it might be the missing piece in your morning power stack. We'll break it down in the next video, how to prep it, when to eat it, and the one warning you must know before adding it to your routine. Because while this root can supercharge your circulation and stamina, taking it the wrong way might backfire. So stay tuned. Your mornings are about to get even more powerful.